why we chose Polkadot. So a good thing is like a really big small background of Polkadot is it was founded by Gavin Woods. So Gavin Woods was one of the original founders of Ethereum. He's very heavily involved in designing and writing Solidity. And then he left, I think in 2005 or 2006, I think was it 2005 or 2006, I can't remember, to start to Parity Tech and the Web3 Foundation. And what makes Polkadot unique alongside other blockchains is its focus on interoperability. For those of you in the audience that want to know what interoperability means, it's the communication between chains. So for a very long time, a chain was self-contained. It didn't know what happens outside its chain, right? And that's why Chainlink blew up, because it was able to give you prices of different currencies. And now you have information or state that actually happens outside your chain, and you can now make decisions based on information outside. So what Polkadot is, it takes this to a whole new level. It now is able to allow blockchain A to talk to blockchain B, and not just talk and transferring value, but actually saying, look, I want you to run some specific piece of code or some information. I want you to do it because that's what you're great at. That's what you allows chains to focus on what they're really good at, and then give me that information. So really, that communication allows for a massive wealth of new adoption and innovation. So if you look back into the explosion of mobile phones, when Apple first released the iPhone, we didn't know what a smartphone is. But now you look at your phone and you have all these apps, but the apps themselves are just UIs, and the apps are talking to other servers. So the innovation is happening because of the communication between your phone and these third-party servers that are hosted in places. And that's essentially, to me, what Polkadot is trying to do, allowing these chains, or blockchains, to communicate. We call them parachains because they're parallel blockchains, but to communicate with each other. And that is, to me, what is the most attractive and exciting thing about Polkadot. We can talk about the consensus layer and the shared security layer and to allow this communication to happen, but it's really about driving innovation and how easy it is to build out blockchains, because it's modular. It's like Legos. It gives you substrate as the framework. It gives you a big box of Legos and say, build your blockchain the way you want to build it, and focus only on the business problem or the core aspect that you're trying to build. And it frees you up around from dealing with consensus and security, because that's handled on the layer 0 on the underlying infrastructure.
What are and I'm like, there's 3 others, like or not, relay chains and parathreads. What is that? How's that work? Yeah.
So it starts off with the relay chain. So if you think about the relay chain, it's kind of like a train track, right? Or I like to think of it as roads, right? So because it ensures the security between the cities, or the parachains, like Ethereum is a city. And the relay chain is what allows you to communicate the roads, the motorways, the highways between these two chains. And the parachains are parallel blockchains, so they're cities. And parathreads are basically pay-as-you-go blockchains. So they're really, they haven't been implemented yet. So that's why there's not a lot of information around them. But the idea is you don't have to win an auction to become a parachain. You have to win an auction. So people have to contribute and say, look, I really believe in you, Ray. I believe in your project. I'm going to lock my Polkadot or lock my Kusama to say, I want you to win a slot. And now then your parathread becomes a parachain. So there's 3 main aspects on Polkadot. There's the relay chain, so the underlining highways. There's the parachain, which are the parallel blockchain. And then there are the parathreads, which are like pay as you go. They don't necessarily live as a blockchain.
Very cool. Yeah, no, and you said how long? It's been out for several, like 4 or 5 years?
So the substrate language has been out for 5 years. However, the very first parachains, the first blockchains on Polkadot, probably in November. So it's been 4 or 5 months. That's when the first auction started. That's when the first blockchain started on Polkadot. So it's really still brand new. And what's really cool about Polkadot is it gives you a different environment. It's called the Canary Network. So in software engineering, a Canary Network is where you say, look, I'm not sure about this piece of functionality. I don't want to roll it out to everyone. So, what Google or Facebook or all these big tech companies, what they do is they'll issue it to a small subset of users to say, look, we're going to test out that piece of functionality with only a small subset. In the event that it's not going well, or it's not good, or people don't like it, it doesn't affect the vast majority of our users. So allows you to test safely and test fast. So that's why you might hear about things like the culture at Facebook was go fast and break things. So what's unique about Polkadot is it gives you this Canary network called Kusama, where it's virtually the same as Polkadot, but it's much cheaper to become a parachain, and it allows you to test things out really, really quickly. So this interconnection between blockchains happened first on Kusama. And by giving you this safer, smaller environment, you're now able to test things out more safely. And that's an industry best practice when it comes to software engineering. And so all these hacks that are happening, the exploits that are happening with bridges, it's much less likely to happen because you've gone through multiple test environments. By the time it reaches Polkadot, it's almost fireproof. It's been battle tested in different environments for so long. So you're much more confident about the code that you're deploying to the blockchain.